Gemini, this is your August 2023 soul story. If you have a sun rising or your moon is in the sign, this reading might resonate for you. It's Romy. Thanks so much for tuning into the channel. Nice to have you here. We are going to open up this month with the energy of the Nine of Pentacles, Nine of Coins. You know, there's a sense of enchantment and magic to August, but there's a challenge in that, because what it means is that you have to pick up what has felt bruised or broken, and you have to find a way to keep believing, to keep striving, to keep living. And this is an active choice, a conscious one, that may demand that you go beyond what you currently see in your physical reality and place your trust in so much of the unseen that is not only supporting you and guiding you, but also is still yet to reveal itself. And, you know, this is not a month where we are trying to pursue a sense of perfection in our world. Rather, we're trying to reveal the purity of it. And that means that we have to acknowledge all of the light and shade. So you have embarked upon something significant in your life. And no matter the stage that you currently find yourself at through the month of August, you know, you're never going to be here again. And we really want you to be focused on choosing your frequency, or that frequency around you is going to start choosing you. There's a focus here and a determinism to almost show or present this energy of self-reliance. And, you know, I can do this, I've got this. And sometimes it's necessary for us to have those really powerful internal dialogues with ourselves. And yet at times it can also end up being the thing that sort of restricts our energy away from the things that we may need, the partners, the community, the support. So what we have is a situation where you have an awful lot of the raw ingredients, the parts of the puzzle that are going to help create perhaps like this new chapter, this new version of your life that you're trying to align with. And Leo season for us is really guiding you back to reimagine what that big picture looks like, because you've changed and circumstances have changed. So that means that we have to return to these big goals with soul, not necessarily trying to work on the details of the strategy yet, because sometimes we can kind of talk ourselves out of things before we even begin, but rather to see what adjustments we want to make, how we can make something brighter and bolder. And often the path that you need to take, especially when we're in Leo energy, the one that's going to give you and afford you the most growth will be the one that feels the most uncertain, that you feel most apprehensive or scared about. Now, we have two powerful full supermoons arriving in August, opening and closing the month out for us. So on the 1st, the full moon in Aquarius lands, and then on the 30th, we release with this full moon in Pisces. Your Queen of Cups puts you in a very compassionate, listening energy. That said, I also think you're not taking any BS. So I think you're prepared to sort of sit at the negotiating table. And I have a sense of this being a month that, you know, we kind of go round and round the houses. At times you'll be feeling like, are we here again? Like, has nothing changed? But actually, yes, everything has changed because you have changed. So new terms being outlined. And the energy that you're showing up with is one that's sensitive to the situation, sensitive to the feelings of others, but at the same time, like ready and prepared, because you know what you're focused upon and what you're trying to work towards, and you're realigning to this bigger vision for yourself. That, you know, it's a time to kind of be really frank and honest. Now, for sure, between these two full moon energies, we have this kind of void-like liminal space created. And we also have a whole host of planets that are in retrograde. And of course, Mercury, your ruler, is also going to join the party on the 23rd. What that means is sometimes, you know, we have to read between the lines, and communication, getting our point across, can feel a little bit more challenging than it might ordinarily. And, you know, if you are looking for that big commitment, if you are looking for signing on the dotted line, it's not necessarily going to be the most favourable, you know, not impossible, but not the easiest month to be able to see clear progress. if we could rather approach August for you as a month where you need to keep gathering data, gathering information, looking at the evidence, and really sitting with how you feel. I have a sense you're going to be running two conversations, and we know you're Gemini, you can manage this effectively, but I do think you need more evidence, and perhaps that also equates to more time. You don't want to be rushed, but you also don't want to stop moving forward. Yeah, there's this sense of needing to kind of keep a flow and a fluidity. Queen of Cups is really going to support that energy for you. You are coming to terms with something, and even where it might feel a little disconcerting, or you're kind of trying to feel into the impact that it might have for you in your life, you will manage it effectively. So this assessment and this weighing up is really something that can be done powerfully through the month of August. We also want to take advantage from a healing modality perspective, because remember, we're still moving through this heart season, not quite as tender and acutely raw perhaps as what we might have faced through Cancer season, but nonetheless still this continuing conversation and narrative that says I need to face this and I need to deal with this. And part of that is a question that you need to ask yourself, Gemini, which is, what is holding me back? What's holding me back? And, you know, perhaps moving on from that, what am I allowing to influence me? Because if I'm holding myself back so that there's limitation or restriction in some area, or perhaps more than one in my life, and then I'm allowing that outside influence to then dictate to me what the next right step is, or what I believe, or what would be right for me. This is a time, because there's so much focus on moving inwards and returning to kind of revisit choices and decisions, and not again from a critical perspective. However, I do think this natural inward reflection demands some critical thinking from you, because you have to see what you've outgrown. So for me, that Seven of Earth coming through, Seven of Pentacles, is also reminding you, you know, there are things that are coming to fruition. Perhaps you're not fully seeing them yet. They're not quite realized, but the harvest time is on its way. And certainly with Venus retrograde, you know, as much as it can be tricky and sensitive and really highlight areas that we definitely need to work on, especially as they pertain to our self-esteem. So any external relationship that we have to anything, and how that affects us is being sort of brought to our attention. But we also have the opportunity to recognize where we've made previous investments and how that can come back around, these cosmic waves sort of washing up on the shore like jewels and treasure for us to really kind of appreciate. And you certainly have, through your openness, your compassion, your humility, your willingness to kind of sit in the uncomfortable energies, have the uncomfortable conversations, and not, you know, be too impulsive, not shut down, not walk away. You know, something really valuable and tangible kind of ends up manifesting as a result of that. Now we've got the King of Swords coming through for you here. I think this is a month where you will see, you know, some connections and relationships like naturally deepen, and others will be tested more than ever before. And so in regards to that, there's a revisitation to your own boundaries, of course. But all of this, I feel, is helping you to create a new set of values for yourself. Now we're coming up to, of course, Lionsgate Portal on the 8th of August, a really powerful time every year to kind of become acutely aware of your growth, to allow new downloads and activations to kind of work with you in a different frequency, a different vibration. And, you know, as we witness this cosmic conversation, Sirius, the spiritual sun rising, we have an opportunity to really consider what we do desire and what we want to manifest in our world. And this is where I return to what I said about August being a time where there is enchantment and magic, but it will challenge you to kind of address, you know, where the things that have not worked or are continuing to cause you pain or disappointment or disillusion are what is holding you back from then feeling or believing or making inroads to that life that you want to architect for yourself. King of Swords is going to bring some focus for you, some intentionality, some critical thinking, and at times kind of pull you up by your bootstraps and go, okay, enough, like let's, you know, accept the what is of this situation. Like I said, whatever journey you've embarked upon, just accepting fully whatever stage you're at and what that brings along with it. And if we're not looking for perfection, but rather we're here to have the experience, then you can run these dual conversations, multiple narratives, and, you know, just be accepting and open of everything. And I think, again, that's where that Queen of Cups is going to be such an advocate for you, such a powerful reminder of the best way to navigate and operate through this month. At the same time, I think you have some incredibly memorable experiences, and, you know, it wouldn't surprise me that it doesn't come in and around that Lionsgate. Any rituals that you're doing or desire to focus upon that energy, please check out my soul meditation, which will give you some beautiful insights to work with and harness. So the Six of Pentacles comes through right in the center of your read for August. You understand the innate need for balance in your world right now. And, you know, Leo energy is good for you. We have this mixture of air and water, which can ignite something, and it's favorable, it's harmonious, it's opposites, but it kind of works, it vibes. And so as we have these beautiful, memorable experiences coming through, you know, there's this recognition from you that, you know, this is what I've been working towards, or this is what I wanted to feel. This is something that kind of validates for me an experience as I hoped it would be, as I expected it to be. So, you know, as much as this can be a month that creates somewhat of a veil and a confusion and a misunderstanding and things kind of in a constant state of flux, through that are these peppered experiences that really deliver for you and help you to find your own innate sense of balance in regards to something. That's really important, and I think, again, this King of Swords energy is kind of helping you with that. Could even be an external person that's sort of coming in to just steady you and sort of be that voice of reason just when you need it. But regardless, what we also have is you seeking reciprocity, you seeking support, you seeking, you know, more from someone or from a situation. Okay, now when we are in an energy of asking for more, it's really important that we're not projecting that from a place of scarcity. Now, you're not looking like you're presenting scarcity energy for me in August, which is wonderful. And I think this is why it's so important to come forth with this compassion energy for yourself and everything that's happening around you, and for others as much as you can, because we're never fully aware of what they may or may not be going through. But if we can come from this slightly more steady, balanced place, then when we're asking for more, it's coming from a place of beautiful desire, fueled by love, fueled from a place of just aligning to abundance. And it's back to you choosing the frequency that you want rather than the frequency choosing you. Okay? So, you know, remember, the happier you are with your own life, with yourself, the less you're going to need from other people, and the more likely they are to be able to step forth and deliver things to you that can be beautifully surprising. Now, we have a new moon coming in Leo on the 16th of the month, and I sense around that time, as we make our way sort of midway through, that, you know, you do have a turn of events. There is a sort of upside, an upward swing. So if you have been feeling into anything that's felt a little bit slow or stagnant, or, you know, you've had to sit in an energy of contemplation, trying to figure out or waiting for more evidence, more information to come through, I think that sort of heralds a little bit of a sea change, and it gives way to a rising sense of confidence for you. And it also helps you, and this is the invitation here, this is the message from your guides, to really kind of rethink, what is it that I want? And what are the terms in which I want it? Now, we also have asteroid goddess Juno shifting into Leo on the 15th, the day before. Juno, of course, rules partnerships, professionally, personally, and in Leo, you know, we're more willing to sit at the table and kind of really say what's on our heart, and you've got much more of a chance of having you know, the gap closed between your expectation and your disappointments when you are genuinely able to just say, this is what I need. This is what I need. And then if you're met with, I can't give this to you, then you're in a more informed, powerful position to decide what's next for you. But we also have to figure out with Juno and Leo what's real and what's just being done for show, or what's being, you know, coming from a place of impulsiveness or just kind of stirring energy, you know. So there is again this requirement for you for some critical thinking and discernment around that time of the month, especially if you're having important conversations. You're going to return to these. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that even if something gets loosely agreed or decided upon, you're still going to have to come back around to it. There feels like there's much more certainty in regards to that through the month of September, October. So you can't judge midway what you think is going to be the eventual outcome of this situation. We're overlaying energy so profoundly through the month of August, and that experience in and of itself is giving you such an opportunity to see how far you've grown. Like, it's astonishing amount of self-awareness that we're seeing realized through the month of August. And again, when you come at it from this place and you give yourself permission to start creating this new set of values for yourself and your life, you know, this is really powerful energy to then harness. And that's where some of this enchantment comes through. Because what I really see happening is you truly sitting with how you feel, realizing what's holding you back, realigning to this bigger picture. And, you know, if you are sitting in a waiting period, for something to come together or for something to change, if you feel that sense of waiting, then make it meaningful, use it. Refine things, revisit things, make it brighter and bolder, because the Page of Swords is coming through here and saying like how you express yourself through the course of this month. And remember, in the Leo season, we're third house energy for you. So it's challenging the way you think, and it's helping you to sort of come forth with that tenacious, fluid approach, because we might have to make a lot of short-term plans and kind of things, you know, could change at the last minute, especially with the Mercury retrograde. But your page here is wanting you to be open-minded, but also to keep talking, keep communicating, keep searching and gathering and being curious. Don't shut down, don't turn away, don't ignore, face everything through the month of August, even if none of it makes sense, even if it feels, you know, like it's going in crazy wild directions. Keep sitting there and watch how the energy keeps changing. Watch how your response to that energy changes. And you're going to see something that's so deeply valuable. And it's like a key, it'll unlock something. These full moon energies, and especially if you're a moon child, you'll be so affected by this, you know, but it will help you dive deeper into your subconscious, deal with some fears or illusions that still permeate through your experience, and really help you to kind of address them in a new way, in a powerful new way. I've got a brand new full moon energy activation this month, which you might want to check out as well. Again, all of the links for anything that I talk about through the soul stories are listed below. So as we come into the second part of the month, where the sun shifts into Virgo, Mercury goes retrograde 23rd, what we're going to be experiencing for you is an opportunity to pick up where you left off and to really feel like it's just been a minute and all of a sudden like I'm back here. But there is a renewed sense of motivation and intention. So it's kind of like a second wind energy that I get coming through for you as we move into that second part of August. And that's the time to start reflecting and contemplating on the strategy of how this can work and how I'm going to go about what that next step is to create this bigger vision I have for myself. And you'll have much richer, deeper, more meaningful conversations end of August into September around this. Now, one thing to keep in mind as we move towards the end of August, on the 28th, Uranus is going to shift retrogrades. And that's just ahead of that full moon in Pisces. So Uranus, of course, always bringing some surprise events for us. Sometimes it can be a bit disruptive. You know, we can have moments of kind of initial crisis. But what we have is the revelationary nature of that full moon in Pisces, very healing, also bringing in some magic there. And remember, that's lighting up your 10th house of legacy. So something about you leaving your mark in the world, something having come to fruition that was initiated around that end of February earlier this year. Perhaps something significant around career or your purpose, but the surprise nature of it might kind of have you catch your breath. It might feel a little confusing to you as well. It's almost like somebody puts you in a category or identifies you for a position or something, and you just think it just feels like nothing like what you do or where your skills are or what your innate natural gifts are representative of, but I think you have to have an open mind a little bit as to kind of what this can potentially offer you and where this could take you, because there's certainly this feeling of there being memorable experiences through the course of this month that are arriving at a very specific divinely timed moment. Okay, and perhaps part of that is challenging who you think you are, what you think you're capable of. So this might be something that feels out of your comfort zone. I certainly have a sense of the path demanding even more growth from you, but therefore like asking you to do something that feels like it's going to stretch you. But sometimes, you know, we have that initial feeling or thought towards something, and then as soon as we begin, it feels so natural to us. It then becomes one of these, well, of course this is what I was supposed to do, and I didn't even realize. And it's taken someone else to recognize it in me, or the universe to conspire and bring it to my attention. The other thing that goes on through the course of this month, all these planets in Leo, you know, Mercury, Venus, the Sun, Juno, but we also have Black Moon Lilith still in the sign right through to October 3rd, and she's helping us with the karma and the shadow work that we need to do. And, you know, where we still might be trying to play small or dismiss ourselves or felt that we've been dismissed, especially in areas of our talent and our gifts, how we communicate. So you're getting kind of shoved off the cliff, you know, with Black Moon Lilith in that regard, especially as she's feeling even more empowered during Leo season with that energy around. So, you know, be aware that this is definitely a month, even though you feel like you're being pushed and pulled left, right and centre, you can lock in and harness the power and the magic by going back to what the big vision looks like. Yeah, this is like the end game of where you want to see yourself way down the line. So if you're new to the channel, the last 3 cards we're going to cover off in our extended reading. I talk for like 25-30 more minutes. Go into this in more depth with some clarifiers, along with looking at a personal question and a relationship card for you, Gemini. So let's just see what additional clarifiers want to come through. Of course, the link for this is in the comment and description box. You've got 5 of Cups here. And you've got 7 of Wands. What about this Queen of Cups? 7 of Cups. 6. Lots of emotions coming through. I'm just going to pull one more there. Empress. Okay. And the 7 of Pentacles. Ace of Wands. 5 of Swords. I have a sense of you kind of, as you consider negotiating or looking at terms, revisiting things, you know, you also have to think about not just like the here and now, but really think about the future proofing component of it. Something that's going to give you enough room and flexibility should things change, should you change. Like, you know, you just think about it along those lines. We don't want anything that feels like too suffocating for you. That's an interesting combo there. The Devil and Ace of Cups coming through. I'm just going to pull one more there. King of Pentacles. Okay. Page of Swords. What do we have? The 4 of Swords. Another King of Swords here. If this is representative of your energy, because it certainly sort of comes through, you know, with that air. The thing I like about that is I just think you're not taking any nonsense, and you're in a strong position, and, you know, you should feel that way, even where people may try to project or circumstances may try to kind of make you think otherwise. I think where you can use that critical thinking and discernment, you will actually find some creative solutions. And you'll also be able to kind of more effectively manage some of that intense kind of mental chatter. And I think, you know, you're so used to these Mercury backspins that do affect you in Virgo more because it's your natural ruler. But even that full moon in Aquarius, like there's something here that you're being invited to release and let go of. And I think it's very much around the way sometimes you have felt bound, or how you choose to think about things. So there's a kind of real shattering and breaking open in that regard. And again, that can only sort of really happen because of the internal focus and the time that we give ourselves to really sit with how we feel. We have portals of possibility here. We have the Gathering. And it's not that the King of Swords doesn't have emotion. He just contains it or compartmentalizes it so that there are things that need to be dealt with or thought through in a specific way. And, you know, using that experience and wanting again to sort of gather the data or almost sort of come at things from a slightly scientific perspective, that's not always a bad thing. You know, even though you're going to be incredibly tuned in and sort of psychically aware this month, having that balance will help you have these two conversations that I see you kind of having through the course of August with yourself. So we've got some nice cards coming through here. Life Soul Vision is my own oracle deck. Please do check it out if you haven't already. It's over on my website, along with details of my other sacred title, Moon Musings, which is a book of my soul musings, available in the hardback and Kindle, also an audiobook. These are pieces of work that can meet you wherever you are energetically, Gemini. Yeah, so please take the time, if you enjoy what I do, to see how they might resonate. Right, let's have a look at a final oracle here. Clear waters, beautiful. Clear vision, confirmation, right timing, opportunity. Love that for you. So we're going to leave it there. If you're joining me for the extended, of course, we'll go into all of this, look at your personal card and your relationship card for August. And I wish you well for this month. Yeah, if it's resonated, please drop me a like and a comment. Make sure you're subscribed. It really helps support me. And I will see you again next time.